Guys, we are back with another episode of Gamesymaspod. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us here. I'm super excited for this episode. We are doing another debate. We are joined here with Alberto and Sierra. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. For those of you that have been watching, you recognize Alberto from our How I Met Your Mother rewatch series, which we got to continue again. And Sierra, you're joining us again. For those that are watching, they're recognize, hey, I know her. She's from that Disney Goes to a Universal episode here. We took you to Universal for the first time.
Yeah, first time ever.
Yes, and it was fun. It was a fun one to go to, and that was fun. That one got us our 1,000 likes, and we were able to give away our $200 gift card to Amazon, guys. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing to that episode. But I'm very excited because we have another debate here, guys, and we're going to be doing now Disney parks versus Universal parks. So kind of how we did with our little previous episode, we're going to be doing this. You guys can probably might have guessed of whose side is Sierra and whose side I'm on, of course.
Spoilers, wow.
Yes, exactly. And it's going to be a fun debate. Alberto's going to be moderating / questionnaire, and we're going to be trying to convince him what park is better. He's a little biased. He kind of folds more a little bit toward the line of Disney, but
everybody does.
We'll pull him back to the real world here.
I have 2 kids under 3. So
That's an argument in itself. I'm ready.
Perfect Universal. Okay. Go to Japan.
But
and you're welcome.
Okay.
But anyway, guys, so I'm very excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our content if you guys want to see more. If you guys want to ask us questions, we're on socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find us at Gamesymaspod. Send us a question if you guys want us to answer your question. We might have some time for some questions at the end of this episode that we have. Maybe. We'll see. So pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. I'm ready for this one. Disney parks versus Universal parks. And to get some more context, guys, we're not just talking about the SoCal, California, Disneyland, and Universal Studios Hollywood. Because if we just had a debate, I would probably be fighting a losing battle here on that one. We're encompassing. Yeah, I can't even speak because I'm just so excited. No,
No.
encompassing. Yeah, whatever. All of the parks. We're doing all the parks, all the Disney parks around the world. There's 6 of them. Hong Kong. I have the list right here. Tokyo, Paris, Hong Kong, and Shanghai, and then Orlando and California. Same with Universal. We have here in California. We have one in Orlando, one in Japan, Shanghai, or Singapore, and Tokyo, I believe.
I feel like
Japan,
we were missing one, but I lost track.
Yeah, one of them. But we're talking about all that, so that way we can have more of an equal fight. I believe, in my opinion, it goes more towards Universal, but we'll go ahead and that. Alberto, you have the questions here that we gave Alberto 10. How many questions? 8 questions, right?
8 questions.
8 questions. 3 questions. He's gonna choose out of all those 8 that we have to answer, plus the opening remark questions that we're gonna do. And if you're watching this video on YouTube or wherever you're watching, you can see here that we have mysterious plates on our table. What are we doing there? Well, with our debates here at Gamesymaspod, we like to do a little twist here, and that is we're trying to convince Alberto, he's gonna be choosing which side had a better, stronger argument. And the loser is going to have to eat, this time, some spicy wings. We did spicy wings in the beginning from Bird Box, but we chose what the sauce was already, and we chose the hottest sauce there. Now, they're mysterious. We don't know what's going on. So there are 6 sauces here. 3 of them are mild, tame. 3 of them are very spicy. We don't know which ones are which, so the loser has a 50-50 chance of choosing a correct wing to eat and not get burnt and keep going. And so, So check it out, guys, and let's see what Alberto chooses. And let us know in the comments who won this debate, who had the strong argument, or if you guys have more to add to the argument, we'd love to continue the argument on the comment section here. But let's keep it friendly, guys, around that. So with all that information, let's get started with the debate. Alberto,
Cool.
Go ahead and start us off. You want to ask the opening?
The opening question, before we dive into the more specifics that I think will give you guys plenty to debate over, is just simply which parks are overall better.
Okay. And then I also like to let the moderator choose who wants to go first.
You know what? You're ready to jump out of your seat, man.
He
Just
really
go ahead.
is. Oh my gosh, he's coming for my
Yeah.
throat
I'm
already.
going. I got to fight for my Universal peeps. So you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. Which park are better overall? Universal Studios, in my opinion, has better is better overall. If you look at the scope of everything, Disney, yes, you have the more family-friendly oriented parks. Bring your kids here, enjoy the showmanship, show the parades, the fireworks, and things of that nature. But I feel Universal is more of like you are more. It's more focused on like you are the star here. This is all about you. We're more interactive with you. We have shows that are more interactive instead of just sitting down waiting for 3 hours for a fireworks show. We're now you can interact with talking with some dinosaurs. You can talk. You can watch the raptor encounter. You can see crazy stunts and crazy things featured for the whole family to see. This. You're literally in a movie, and people. What does everyone watches movies? And so we're in the movie. We are the actors of the movie. We're experiencing how special effects are made, how things are done, as well as the rides are immersing yourself into the worlds of these movies that we've loved as much. With Disney, you also get immersed with rides as well. But most of these rides are meant for children, more sighted towards kids. And if you're thinking of family wise, then these are good for rides. But if you want rides that encompass everybody, the adults, the kids, teenagers, your grandma, your grandpa, Universal offers more of a scope of that variety. Of rides that you can ride. Whereas Disney's like, this is for the kids, and the parent is cramped in this little vehicle with their kid riding Winnie the Pooh. Where Universal, you can ride some cool, awesome roller coasters and do some state-of-the-art technology and things of that nature. So Universal, I believe, is better overall. We can get deeper into it with better pricing. I have stats here to choose that it's better in pricing. Showmanship, I can prove how showmanship is better now, more internationally wise rather than here in the States. I mean, I would hate to admit that Disney takes the cake on that one. But if we go internationally and overall, I think Universal does more showmanship with parades and shows of that nature. So Universal is probably your number one go-to that you're going to want to go to, especially if you're traveling abroad and you're not in the States. Universal is the way to go. What you got?
I'm going to start my argument off by saying you shouldn't have to travel abroad to go to a good theme park.
Right.
So, with that said...
Wrong.
That's not accessible for everyone. So...
Okay. Well, what about my viewers that are watching abroad that can't come over here?
I don't even think any of us have been to the international parks.
I mean, not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Because it's a little harder to get over there.
Okay. Continue.
So anyway,
you didn't interrupt.
I am arguing that Disney takes all of the cake for theme parks internationally and in the States and everywhere. I think what drives the Disney theme parks comes down to a lot of storytelling. If we're going as far back as like Walt created theme parks, like this was not even a thing before Walt Disney. You're like making faces, but like he was being ridiculed at the time for people thinking he was like creating another carnival, and like people didn't understand what this concept was.
Okay.
But so anyway, he was taking concepts of storytelling from films that were already like moving people and creating like emotions and making people feel things and creating an environment that's like fun, but also extremely immersive and just driven by story. And so I think that really carries through what all of Disney parks are doing now. And so just stories like implemented into everything Disney does, between the rides and the shows and the experiences and even just like walking through lands. Everything is so intentional and everything is so immersive in the way that like you walk through even just say like Galaxy's Edge and like you're fully there. You're like fully transported to a place where like, I mean, a lot of people call it an escapism, where like you can just be there and just enjoy that space and get to like, experience things and characters that like you just can't do in everyday life. And so,
except at Universal though. But continue.
Interesting. I have different memories from when I went to Universal. But yeah, so it's a priority between the storytelling, the immersion, and creating like special memories for people too. Like Disney really values family and really values creating a space that's just unique and special and like a service and a hospitality that you can't find anywhere else. People talk a lot about getting like Disney magical moments, and it's like just little ways that cast members will like gives a kid like a balloon or a treat or something for free just because like they want to make their trip memorable for them. And there's a lot of ways that Disney cast members just go above and beyond to create a space that's going to be so impactful for like not only children but people of all ages too, because there are thrill rides and experiences that like are more for adults or kids or tweens or whatever it is. Like there's truly something for everyone, and like not just rides, but there's just so many other random things and like activities to do in the parks too. Like one of my favorite things is going to Animation Academy and learning how to draw. Like that's so fun. You don't get to like learn from a real life animator anywhere else. So
Drawing that Tiana that we did last time.
Oh, did you do Tia? Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that's hard. Faces are hard.
Yeah.
That's why they're the professionals, and we're
That
learning
was
from
hard.
them.
That was hard when we did that. Yeah.
But then that's the thing too. Like it's so educational in so many ways. In ways that make it fun and like accessible for people of all ages. And then, I mean, I didn't even mention the IP. Like Disney IP is so strong, and people have so many connections to these characters and these stories and worlds that like you grew up watching on TV, and now you get to be a part of that or see it in a new light. So it really just like pulls on the heartstrings too. It's hard to go to a Disney park and not have a good day. There's the argument.
Okay. All right then. Well, I won. So okay.
Okay.
Well, this one doesn't really.
No, this is good. This is
Towards
good.
this,
So
right?
those
Okay,
were our
cool.
opening kind of.
Okay.
Get your
Okay.
feet wet a little bit of what you're in store for here.
It's your opening argument.
Yes. So okay. So that we got that out of the way. Got that out of your chest. You good now?
I'm ready.
You're ready?
All right.
All right. So go ahead. Go on with the first question.
So question one.
All right.
This one hopefully will give me something to learn about.
Okay.
Which one has better food? The question was which one has better food quality?
Okay. Okay.
Food quality was a question,
Yeah.
but you throw in like
Food.
as it in itself.
Okay.
Like which one has better food?
All right. Go ahead and choose who you want to go first for that one.
You know what? I'll start with Sierra.
All right.
I love Disney food, first of all. I think I'm going to start by like breaking it down for the people who might not be as familiar. When you're at maybe a theme park in general, but specifically a Disney park, there's like different types of food options that they're offering. You have your basic like snack carts, like the churros and pretzels and whatever all over the parks. That's like probably the most accessible. You're walking through lands, you can just grab something like that. Then there's what's considered quick service restaurants, which are the like easy access. You're just grabbing like burgers and sandwiches and chicken and fries and tacos and like all that kind of stuff. And then there's like table service restaurants beyond that, where like you're sitting down having like a full meal with a waiter or waitress and like being served on or served to. And then beyond that, there's, I think it's considered like signature dining, where it's like you're going to like the Blue Bayou or Club 33 or like Carthay Circle or those like top tier restaurants that are like critically acclaimed in a lot of their own ways sometimes.
Okay.
And so you have so many options. So I think first of all, like that provides a certain type of accessibility in itself. And I've done a little bit of everything depending on who I'm with. When I take people to the parks for the first time, I think like I want them to try a lot of my like favorite like treats from all over the park instead of just like grabbing some quick like chicken tenders and fries on the way to a next ride. There's so many really good things on the menus when you take a second to look for them. But with that said, like you can have the like more basic options if like your kids just want chicken nuggets or whatever it is. But then there's so many other just like really good offerings too that are like very carefully crafted and themed to wherever you're at too. Like the first place that comes to mind, one of my favorite restaurants on the California side at least is Lamplight Lounge in DCA, which is completely Pixar themed after like the Pixar studios and a lot of the work and a lot of the Easter eggs.
If you can get in.
Oh, it is not that hard to get in.
I mean, sure. But I mean, okay.
Anyway,
the accessibility of these foods you've mentioned are very on a lucky day if you can get in these.
That's not true. But anyway.
Continue, whatever.
But so like that, for example, is a place where they have really, really good dining and just like well-crafted dishes that are like equivalent to what you're going to get if you go out to a nice restaurant for dinner anywhere else. And it's also not really that more expensive for that kind of stuff too. Like you're, especially in LA, you're not paying more for that than you would for a nice restaurant somewhere else. But you're in like a more immersive experience, and like at that restaurant specifically, they have a bunch of drinks that are themed to like different Pixar movies and Easter eggs and stuff. So you also just like feel more like in the moment and in the story. And I think one thing that people kind of forget about with the Disney parks too is that like the resort as a whole is all inclusive to like the hotels and anything on property. And so one of the things that I like pointing out to people, especially when I go to Disney World, is that it is so worth going to some of the really nice restaurants around the property that aren't in the theme parks necessarily. Like there's top tier like Michelin rated restaurants at some of these hotels and stuff that like, sure, those are for sure harder to get into, just like any like really fancy restaurant is. But there's so much good food like for everyone. There's a lot of good like snack options that are a little special. My personal favorite snack, thank you for asking, is the cream cheese stuffed pretzel. So good. 10 out of 10 if you haven't tried that. And that's an example of like a, if you don't want a basic Mickey-shaped pretzel,
where
it
is that?
sounds a little different. They're in like almost all of the parks at one of the like pretzel stands and stuff. They're not at all of them, like in Disneyland. You can get them in Tomorrowland or in the little like Coke corner on Main Street.
Okay.
But there's just like so many options. I don't know. I could go on and on. So,
Sure you can. I'm sure you can.
I don't know. I feel like, are we taking like questions or?
No, you just answer the question.
Okay. So is that it?
I mean,
I'll give my thoughts.
let me
after
rebuttal with this silliness that was just spewed out right now. Real quick. Okay, listen. Okay, quality of food. If we look back, Disney did have the majority of it dominated with majority of food, the quality of food. But as time progressed, the food quality went down, and so did the sizes of the food. The food, I think Universal has better because we're gonna hit your weep side here, side of anime.
Okay.
Let's go to Japan. Let's take a trip over to Japan, across. Okay, bear in mind, money's no issue here. Okay, we can spend whatever we want to spend on things like that. We want to do whatever we want to, and we're given a choice of parks. Money's no option here. We're going to Japan. Japan has literally an area dedicated to everything anime. One Piece, a Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. Now, with that in mind, with the food quality, now you have themed food that's like from the animes that you love. When you're going to Disneyland, you're having, pretzels and popcorn and specialty restaurant stuff that's cool, but it's like when you have your kids along, they're not gonna want to eat at the Blue Bayou. They just want chicken nuggets and fries imagine now you're getting that, but now you're getting it themed as if you're on the Thousand Sunny and Sanji just cooked this up for you.
Now Disney doesn't have that.
No, hold on. See, look.
Embarrassing.
See. So now you're thinking of here in California. You have the new power ups.
He knows my weakness.
Yes, the power
knows my
cafe.
weakness.
Yeah, there you go. See, I won this. I told you. All right,
Hang on.
So the Power Up Cafe in Universal Studios Hollywood is everything about Nintendo. You go in there, you're going into like this Nintendo fused area where they have calzones shaped as the 1-Up mushroom. So it's literally like the one little one when you hit up and you get the 1-Up life. You have the red and the green mushroom there. And now you have also these mixed fizzy drinks that are like the Luigi, the Mario, and the Princess Peach. And they're all decorated to have the little red hat, the green hat, and then you have like the little mustache. It looks like when you're drinking, you have like a mustache, Mario mustache. So it's all very themed while when it comes to Universal, where it's like it's more appealing, more attractive to those that are in favor of certain IPs and certain things that they love of theming-wise. Not to say that Disneyland doesn't have that theming-wise, but they're more of just fancier like popcorn, buckets, whatever.
That's a whole niche in itself.
Exactly,
yeah.
but it's like when it comes to the food, like how good, and the food is good, like, and you get bigger. I feel like you get bigger portions when you're at Universal, especially when you're going across the pond over to Japan and to Shanghai. You're getting bigger portions, especially. Again, there's a straight restaurant dedicated to all things One Piece. And it's all things of big portion size. So you have one where, like, how Luffy loves to eat meat, right? And he has that big bone with the big meat chunk in there. Yes, you do. And I know you do.
I
sir.
do know it. Just
and you get that. You can get that at Universal Japan. And it's cheaper. And so when it comes to the food quality, yeah, Universal is more friendlier to families, more friendlier to more accessible thing. You were saying that the accessibility of fast food things, you're still waiting in line, long lines. Obviously, you have
Not
the mobile order.
necessarily, yeah.
Universal, you have the mobile order, but there's more sections in Universal to be able to pick what you want to eat. They have a whole restaurant dedicated for the Minions, the Minions Cafe. If you love the Minions, Despicable Me, that you have Minion-themed food over there. All very delicious. I mean, their mac and cheese is really delicious over there. And they have it here in Universal Studios as well. Orlando as well. Everything's all themed around a certain IP. And not to say that Disney doesn't as well, but I think Universal's more appealing when it comes to that stuff and for more of the kid-friendly stuff because, again, if I'm going to a theme park, I'm already spending so much money on a theme park. I don't want to spend another kidney to go to the Blue Bayou only to have 2 kids, screaming in my ear, not wanting to stay here because it's too dark and they can't color or do anything like that. So you want to go outside. So now you spend all this time, and then it's reservation based, whereas Universal's not reservation based when it comes to food, so certain restaurant and foods.
I'm curious how that works then, because that sounds like it would be harder to have like nice sit down restaurants that you are like everyone's just waiting in a standby.
Because everything's so spread out and there's so many varieties.
And there's less people there because less people.
There's
want to go
not
to
less
Universal.
people. It's so spread out. What are you talking about? It's so spread out. Everyone's going there.
Okay, so there's less of a
now
demand
we're going with the
Okay.
people person. Huh? Okay, but I'm just saying the food quality is better. And I'm saying you have multiple restaurant varieties over here. Disneyland, you're like compact in. You have a lot of things, and you have to make a
Not
reservation.
necessarily.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna ask to
But you have to choose a winner though. If you're gonna choose
to maybe hang on.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask this follow-up question to this question,
Okay.
and keep it short.
All right. Universal does. There you go.
No, if you had one food item, one drink item, only one
Okay.
that I have to try at one of these parks, what would it be and why?
Go to the Sanji's restaurant. Drink wise, what? What?
Oh, no.
Popcorn? Oh yeah, butterbeer.
You're not excited about that. I don't know.
Because you can't get a butterbeer anywhere else. But I mean, you can. The hot one is pretty good too. But I'm thinking food wise, man, because you want to get nice food, and I'm appealing to my audience here of his anime side, stuff like that as well.
Okay.
Which one are you choosing?
I'm absolutely not. Give me a chance here. I'm having a hard time like narrowing it down because I think a lot of my like personal favorites are just like random little like really good like snacks and dishes like here and there and stuff. But if we're going for like, I want to approach this from an experience-based perspective. And so what comes to mind first for a drink is if you go to the Star Wars Cantina in either Disneyland or Hollywood Studios in Disney World, the cantina in itself is already like straight out of the Star Wars movies. So for all the Star Wars fans out there, like this is a big experience in itself to be in there with like the DJ playing like the cantina song and stuff. Yeah, you know the one. Yeah.
They don't play that song. They play other music.
They play that in
It's
rotation
rare.
with other
Yeah.
music. No, if you're
And
sitting there.
and if you can
Every time I pass by, they play it.
Yeah.
And
It's
if
a
you-
staple.
I can never get in.
Going there is an experience in itself, and I've tried a couple different drinks there that I don't remember like the exact names of, but one that I just think is like especially
not
fun
memorable. Interesting.
is it's called like the fuzzy like tan or something like that. I have no idea, but it's I think it's a rum based drink. I think a lot of the drinks in there are kind of like Galaxy Tiki Bar kind of vibes, and so I think it's like a rum based like tropical cocktail that has this funky like a frothed like juice or something on the top that when you drink it, it makes your mouth like feel numb and it makes it feel like you're like having this weird like intergalactic experience, like but while you're like drinking it, like you can still like taste it and everything.
Feeling no, that sounds not
No,
fun.
it's like really it's really fun because you try it and everyone like reacts differently, and so you're having like a shared experience like with people at your table, and you're like, what the heck? Like, where are we right now? Like, we are in the middle of the galaxy. The Cantina song's playing, and we're drinking weird space drinks, but like they're so good in themselves. It's like
You waited 2 hours
if
to
you're
get
going
into.
to, oh my gosh, please! I've never had to wait to go in. By the way, I've always had easy luck getting into it.
You're Sierra though.
What?
You're Sierra.
What does that
Yeah.
mean?
And we all
Girl,
can't
you-
work for Disney.
Like
I don't get it because I work for
Yeah,
Disney.
sure.
no, but like we say, like we've told you, you're like this like traveler extraordinaire. But anyway, that's a whole
Wow,
other
Yeah.
Thank you.
conversation.
So you're
Anyway,
arguing-
so
I'll give you my
that's a
tips
drink.
if you need that.
That's
Oh,
a drink.
goodness.
Yeah,
That's a drink.
So,
What
so
about
that's
food?
a drink in
Food.
itself. Food wise, I want to present a food option that I have not actually personally experienced, but in Disneyland Paris, there is a ratatouille restaurant, which is if you if you remember the end of Ratatouille.
don't worry about that, bro. You don't have to
Listen,
worry about that.
sweet little Remy, his dreams all come true. He gets his own restaurant. He is a chef. He's getting the stars back for Chef Cousteau.
From
It
a
is a
street
very
rat, from a
important
street rat.
moment.
Wow.
Yeah, from the streets to
From
the
the
service
streets.
industry.
Oh.
His dreams came true.
I wonder how that health code violation is going.
They
on.
talked about that in the movie. They
wonder how-
passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
they're very cleanly rats.
Interesting.
So
Really?
anyway,
Never met
so
one of
anyway,
them. Okay.
listen, it's a beautiful story about dreams coming true. His restaurant comes to life in Disneyland Paris, and you have an experience where you're sitting like in that literal restaurant. And there's like interactive like tables and placemats and things that make it look like you are there, and like Remy and his team are like preparing this food for you. And so you get that classic Ratatouille moment. You can get literal Ratatouille. You can have your Anton Ego moment where you take a bite and it transports you back to your childhood. The nostalgia all comes back. It's transporting you back to when you felt when you first watched Ratatouille. So sure, that's a lot of pressure to put on like a Ratatouille dish, but you got to figure they also have other pastas and other Italian dishes and Parisian food. But so that's a fun experience, whether you are there
Ratatouille.
trying to just like have a really good dish, or you're with the whole family and it's just like fun for everyone to experience.
You know what'll transport you to your childhood, Alberto, is when you eat at Sanji's restaurant. The anime that you so beloved loved, that you watched as a kid.
You lost, bro.
Ratatouille. What?
You lost this one.
How did
You
I
lost
lose
this
this
one.
one?
First one.
You lost this one. And I'll tell you why. So the
Let me shoot
reason
my win while I do that.
the reason you lost is mainly because
Frick, what do I choose?
a couple of factors. Though I am a sucker for anything One Piece.
And yet you chose
Anything
that.
One Piece.
Hey, all my One Piece fans, listen to this guy. How he
Look,
decides not to eat.
I have to also remember that
Oh, jeez.
that I am, and this might affect your arguments moving forward, but I am, if I'm thinking about going to an amusement park, I'm thinking about going with my wife. I'm thinking about sitting with my wife, enjoying something. So I picture
But shouldn't a good wife want to enjoy the things you enjoy?
I picture the things. I picture that's a whole other conversation. Okay.
bad, medium.
The high class restaurants, I still like. It is still a goal of mine to go to them. I am a little like hurt that I have had a hard time getting into
I'll
them.
help you, Alberto. We'll make these dreams come true.
It's cool. But yes. So the Ratatouille experience has been something that like I have specifically told my wife, like, man, if we could do that, that'd be awesome. And every time I pass by the canteen, I'm always like, I wish I could go.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to give it there.
Totally.
I have to give it
Thank
there.
you so much.
Not a true anime fan.
I'm
I
feeling
know.
great.
I know.
How was
Next
your
question.
wing?
It was delicious. It was medium. It was not that
Not
spicy.
too hot. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that spicy. It's a buffalo medium. I
Okay.
chose right.
Yeah, I'm glad you took that one.
All right then.
All right.
Ask me a money question. I dare you. I dare you to ask me a money question.
You can't sway him. Let him pick.
Actually, that is my next question.
Okay, great.
Hey.
Which parks are more wallet friendly?
I'm ready.
Glad you asked. Oh, yes. Go, choose. Who you go?
I'll start with Sierra.
Wait, I started last time.
Yeah, he gets to choose. He
Oh,
can
okay,
choose.
that's fine.
Well, you won the last argument.
Yeah, and I'm burning over here
Oh,
mildly.
do you have the stats? Should we start with them?
This is my stats. This is my arguments. I got to
Oh,
hear
just for Universal.
It's Disney and Universal. All right, I'll go first. I'll go first. Since I have the stats.
I feel
Oh, no,
like
go-
if,
okay, listen.
All right,
Okay,
all right.
okay.
Wallet friendly.
All right.
Universal, hands down. Yes, Universal is more wallet friendly, budget friendly than Disney parks, wherever you go.
Okay.
Why is that? Because of course Disney's the big conglomerate name, the big name, stuff like that. But Universal is also a name up there which produced multiple masterful pieces of film, like Jurassic Park and Back to the Future and all that stuff. But anyway, cost wise, I went and researched everything. I didn't do Disneyland and Universal because again, that's kind of a losing battle when it comes to like debating. So I did here my first half of the year of research. Did Walt Disney World and Orlando, both in Orlando. But anyway, so I researched for family of 4. Thinking of you, 2 kids.
Okay.
Family of 4. All these things that I researched was from the same range dates. So same range dates, same family of 4, and I went, what's the lowest I can go to visit a Walt Disney World, and what's the lowest I can go to Universal, and then I went, what's the medium, like something I can swing by here. So for Walt Disney World, the lowest you can for a family of 4 for a week will cost you $3,464 for the lowest park, for the lowest hotel you can get, and that hotel's not even a hotel; it's a campsite. It's literally a campsite at Walt Disney World. There's a little campsite that you can choose for.
Is it like the pitch your tent campsite, or like you're in like a lot of them are like
Like a
lodges,
bungalow?
which
No.
is its
No,
own
The lodges
hotel
are the
room.
most expensive ones. This is like little RVs or kind of small tent type
Like a
thing.
little cabin.
Cabin,
Okay.
they're small little
Okay.
cabins. So these are
Okay.
campsites. These are campsites for. It includes the tickets, but it only includes for one park, for one
Okay.
day,
For one day.
one park, and that's the lowest.
How
Now
many
look-
days in a park?
This is for
One park, one day.
One
So like
per
one
day.
of each park. Okay.
Yes,
So-
yes, you can choose like
You go
if
a different park
yeah,
each
if you go to
day.
Magic Kingdom, that's your day.
Yeah.
And then you next day you go to
Okay.
Epcot, you go
Yes.
that's your day. Now this is the medium where you can swing it a little bit. Same thing, family of four, which a better hotel, $4,485 to go.
Okay.
Again, one park per day.
So $1,000 more.
$1,000 more, and it's like a hotel. It's like a nice.
Okay.
It's the beach resort. You can
Okay.
the Cabana Beach Resort. You can go there.
Okay.
Now I went a little splurge a little bit and said, okay, I want to add food in there, a dining plan.
Okay.
With the dining plan, it brings it up to $5,476.86 with the dining plan from Walt Disney World.
What does that include?
You get like meals. You get prepaid meals already that you don't have to worry about paying at the parks. You just show them your pass and you get meals. But they're very restricted. I think it's like one meal per day, I think, or something per family, whatever. Like
I think it depends on what your
like per
plan
ticket.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It broke it down like what you
Okay.
can get. But that's like
Okay.
another $1,000 you want to add.
Okay.
That's Walt Disney World. Now let's go to Universal. Okay, their lowest one, and this is a hotel, not a campsite. Their lowest hotel, which is like 4 miles away from Universal, $2,279.76. Same thing, four days. Now, here's the kicker though. This deal includes 3 park hoppers for the same day. So you can go to all 3 parks on the same day and park hop. It includes the tickets there for that. It doesn't one park per day. It's you can go to all 3 parks, which is the Volcano Bay, the water park, Universal Studios, Orlando, and the Islands of Adventure. You can go to all those parks in there, and that's what the hotel. So yeah, so you can go to all those 3 parks whenever you want. If you feel like today I want to go half a day here and then go to other,
Okay.
you can include that.
Okay.
Disney is only one day. Remember that. Now I want to go medium. This is the Aventura Hotel. This is the hotel I went to 2 years ago with the Caramegs and my wife for our anniversary. Awesome hotel. It's really cool. It's awesome. Like they have literally like a club in the very top and like a heated pool at the bottom where they have like movie nights. Really cool. That cost $2,782.92. Same thing. Same package deals. Same
How much
thing.
more is that from?
That's literally $400 more.
Okay.
$400 more to go to
Okay.
that park. Again, same deal.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
parks, and stuff like that. So that was the lowest. Now let's go to the highest. Let's say money's not no an issue. I can do whatever I want. I didn't add everything. I didn't go like extravagant, but I was like, let's get a nicer hotel. Let's get the nicest hotel we can get. Walt Disney World is the lodges, the nice lodges at the island. I forgot what it's called. But it's like the cabin lodges, whatever. Again, same stay, $7,840.48 to stay there. Again, 1 park per day, whatever. Orlando, the Universal Orlando, this is the premier hotel. Now, here's the thing. Same thing. You can go the 3 park, 3 days. This hotel is literally right across from Universal. You take a boat to get to the park, to the hotel, and you can take a boat back. $4,974.40. Now, with this hotel added, they throw in free express line passes for anyone that stays in that hotel. So you literally get front of the line passes to every single park, any of the rides, included with your stay at the park here for $4,000. I looked at the other parks. I converted. I did some of these other parks. I had to do like lesser stays because they didn't offer like extravagant packages like Orlando does. So I did Disney Tokyo to stay for like 2 days at one of their it's like their Disney hotels, but it's kind of like farther off a little bit. You're looking at about $2,135.18 for 2 day stay. One day a day, whatever. Disney Paris. Again, I didn't choose the fanciest hotels. I chose like a decent sized
Basic?
hotel. Yeah, basic hotel. $2,549 to stay there for 2 days. Disney Hong Kong for 2 nights. This is one of the cheaper options. Again, this is a decent hotel as well. It's $811.23 to stay for 2 nights for Disney Hong Kong. And Disney Shanghai for 2 nights, $1,161.89. 2 nights to stay over there. Again, hotels are decent as well. Now, if you go to Universal Japan, I did only Japan because Singapore and forget the other part. We're about the same range, so it's the same thing. Universal Japan to stay for 2 nights with I added the because this included like some meal plans and some things so like this. I added the reservation system for the Mario Land Martin Super Nintendo Land because you need to make a reservation for there. And this hotel is really right across from Universal. To stay there for about 2 nights, it's $300.03. $303.59 to stay for 2 nights, and includes that, and it also includes I added the express pass to go all those because the Tokyo and Paris and stuff added a little bit of extra amenities. So I was like, all right, let me add some extra amenities because if I didn't do this, it'd come out to like $170 for like 2 nights for family 4.
Where's that at? Where should we visit?
Universal
Japan.
Well, I think Japan in general is cheaper,
Yeah,
though, right? That
exactly.
was okay.
So
So we
now-
all need to go to Japan.
But granted,
Japan.
now again with the Disney side as well, all of these are not including airfare tickets. So you have to also think about paying for airline tickets and the travel, how to get over there. So I just added this is just for the parks itself. And if we're looking at the data here in the stats, Universal has better packages and is cheaper to go visit.
Right, Sarah.
Okay.
Your rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean, easy. I think you're paying for quality. So I think paying less doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the same experience at all. And I do think it's hard to look at these numbers in like a very comprehensive view because, for example, like I've taken a lot of my friends to Disney World for the first time, and we go for like a whole week or so, and I treat it differently depending on like
been paid
what
for.
their experience is. What'd you say?
That's been paid for your company's paid for that.
No, I've gone and paid myself, like before I started working for Disney and stuff. Yeah, no, that's out of the question.
I remember what you said, that
A
you've always
normal
gone
trip,
when it's been paid for.
A normal trip where you're paying for
I got her.
everything.
I got her in the
No,
live.
that doesn't
Hang
count.
on.
That doesn't count. Okay, but wait, where was I? Okay, so yeah, you're paying for different experiences. I mean, I think if we're just looking at the price of park tickets, for example, just in Southern California, yes, Disneyland tickets are more, but you're paying more for more experiences, for more opportunity. There's so much more to do there. Even when you were saying how like a lot of those packages you had only include like 1 park per day tickets for Disney versus park hopper type tickets for Universal. That's because Disney gives you everything you need for an entire day in one park. If you're going for the first time, you don't want to hop parks. You want to go to Epcot for a day, take in as much as you can in Epcot, and you might even not get to do everything in one day just because there's so much to experience. And then you do Magic Kingdom, and that's an entire full day too. You want, like I've gone with people and spent like 13-hour days at each one park. And everyone's like, this is incredible. Like, there's just so much to experience between like rides and food and shows and fireworks and like random little things like Animation Academy and that kind of stuff. So there's just so much to experience that makes the money very well worth it. And then like, obviously, if you have the flexibility to do park hopper kind of stuff, that's great. Just to have like, if you're like, I want to start my morning in Magic Kingdom and like do a couple rides there and then head over to Epcot and like catch some evening activity kind of stuff there. Like obviously that's a luxury, but like you absolutely don't need to do that. And package wise, like I do like staying on Disney property if I'm going to Disney World just because it's so convenient. Like that price you're paying includes all of your transportation as well. Like there's 4 different modes of transportation in Disney World that are included to you for free when you're on property, whether you're a paying guest or not. Anyone can use them. There's the ferries, the monorails, the buses, and trains. And so
Let the record show Universal also that's included as well, transportation.
Okay, sure,
well.
sure. But so
So-
anyway,
so
so
don't-
that's like a bonus if you're staying on property and that's convenient, but you absolutely don't need to do that. I think if you're going and you're spending 12-hour days at the park every day, you're going back to a hotel just to sleep there anyway. So like my personal opinion is don't spend the money for an expensive hotel that you're not going to be at. If your goal is to be in the park all day every day and make the most of those experiences, then stay at like an Airbnb or a cheap hotel that's right outside of the lot. And I think that applies for any of the parks. I think like sometimes it is a luxury to be able to stay on property. And like if you do, like yeah, there's so many immersive experiences in the hotels and resorts all around the world in itself. But also you don't need to be a paying guest there to experience that. Like at Disney World, like I said, you can just go stop in a hotel for one of their like really nice restaurants for dinner, and you can like there's activities at some of them too. Like when I went on my last trip to Disney World, they were having a movie night out on the lawn and this like beautiful scenic lake, and like I wasn't staying at that hotel or anything, but like my friends all went up to dinner and I just hung out outside and like watched this movie totally for free. Like there's just so many added bonuses like that they just create as part of that like entire ambiance and experience. So like I will admit that it is more expensive and like it makes it hard for people to go to theme parks in general, I think. Like it is a big, like if you're taking an entire family to Disney World, that's expensive. And like I was very lucky that I got to go with my family when I was younger. We did that whole big trip. But I think if you're spending thousands of dollars to do something like that anyway, you want the experience like Disney where there's so much to do there and like your family's going to walk away with a unique and special experience that is like, I think unlike anything that Universal can offer you for that amount of time you're on property.
Yeah, but she's okay. So, yeah, she's talking about She's talking about Disney World a lot, but you've not been to Universal in Orlando.
That's true.
So I've been to Universal Orlando and I've been to Disney World, and I would say there's more parks at Walt Disney World as well. Yes, but there's so much to do more at Universal. So much more stuff, so much more things to do.
So the argument was
So
the argument was wallet friendly.
So now,
Wallet
what
friendly.
you said, yeah, you can stay at another hotel. You don't have to stay at the Disney hotel, right? But now you have to think about some of these packages are including the tickets as well. So you're staying at the hotel with the tickets included. Now, if you're going to another hotel, you're paying for the hotel, the airfare, and the tickets now for for these parks. For Universal, you're getting the nicest hotels, and they're including, the tickets for multiple parks. Again, yeah, you don't have to park hop. You can, at Disney, you said it, you don't have to get the park hoppers. You can do it park a day. But you even said it, sometimes there's so much to do at Epcot, you can't do it all. So now you're burning another day to go finish up that stuff to do. You can't do it as well. So now you're spending all this money.
I think it depends on what your priorities are. Because, like, for people who, example, like, only want to do rides, like, you can go to a park and knock out all the rides in a day. But, like, I personally love shows. And so, like, I want to be able to do, like, maybe some of the top rides and then, like, prioritize making it to some shows. And so if that means I miss some of the, like, Dumbo rides that I, like, don't feel the need to do,
yeah, but
then, like, that's totally fair.
But if, like, again, this is the cost of, like, thinking of, like, a family. You're bringing with your family. If people want to go somewhere else, you can, but like with Universal is offering like, oh, you don't want to do these rides, come over to this park. It's more simple.
It sounds like what you're saying is people get bored at Universal.
No,
quickly.
it sounds to me like you just
all right. So I've decided I have a winner for this question. Okay. So Vic, you got this one. You won this one. So
just because it's cheaper.
No, but
it's wallet friendly. Look at the stuff that it gets included.
The question was wallet friendly.
Yeah, what's wallet friendly?
Like sticking to it. Like it. Sure, there is a little bit of a bias towards that, but there is also like package deals and other like offers and amenities that Disney might be able to throw in. And it's kind of hard to argue against like the extra things that Universal throws in on top of the things that Disney already throws in, which are great. Don't get me wrong.
And this is one package. There's actually another one that's 30% off your.
I do have to give it. I do have to give it to them.
No, and I think there's a lot of like package options both wise. I think it just depends on your priorities and like what your preference is for what you want included in whatever you're doing, and that's a preference.
Right now, your preference is which one you're gonna choose.
So which is it between?
So these two right here.
Oh, these two.
So one is spicy, one is not.
Do I like? Can I open one of them, or what's the?
Because I think you can tell. Because I think if you look at it, you'll be able to tell if it's spicy from the color of the sauce.
Can I smell them?
You can't smell them. Just gotta choose. I went for it when I chose.
I'm like trying to think if she like placed them strategically.
This one's a sweet.
That one is. This one's a sweet one. This one's supposed to be the mild one. This is the spicy one.
This one's mango habanero.
It looks like it.
Or didn't you say there was like a barbecue, like honey something?
Honey barbecue. That might be the honey barbecue.
Yeah, that looks kind of like barbecue.
That might be the one.
I want to like look at both of those.
Oof! Good luck.
Oh gosh.
This one was the mild one.
That one took you out. Okay, wait. I'm gonna get the water ready just.
This is medium.
Holy crap! Sorry, I need to go get water. No. Oh my god!
Oh, we took Alberto out.
I didn't choose that one. That's the mango habanero.
I'm losing track. I think this one is.
This is mango habanero.
Oh, I didn't think it was that dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what that one is. We took out Alberto. And it looks like it's a tie, 1-1. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for coming.
It's definitely hot. I feel like I handle heat pretty well. I can't tell what flavor it is. I don't think it's Frank's. It looks almost like a...
You good? I don't know why you took a bite. I don't know why you took a bite out of this one.
That took me out, man.
I don't know what this is. It's pretty good, though.
Is it?
It's definitely hot.
It might be Frank's.
It's got a lot of a kick to
Might be the Frank's one.
All right, last question.
Looks like the one suffering here is Alberto. We're doing all right.
Fine.
We're fine. Alberto's the one
Can I get a
suffering.
napkin?
Yes.
Oh man.
It looks like
Way
Six
to
Flags.
take one for the
I know,
team.
right?
I just wanted to try it. I want to see if it was good.
Told you it's mango habanero.
I know. I like a mango habanero, but dang,
that one.
I'm a wimp.
Not this one. Hey, Wild Wings. Got chili with the
All right.
sauce. With the salt.
Last one.
All right.
Which park is most immersive?
Oof.
And by park, you still mean like all
the parks?
encompassing.
Yeah.
All-encompassing parks.
Okay.
Who's going first?
Take it away.
I can take it. Yeah.
All right. You
I
got 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, I feel like this is an easy win for Disney because, like I even said in my opening argument, like everything is very immersive. I think land by land, Disney's goal is to make you feel like you are stepping in between lands and like fully immersing yourself in whatever that environment is. And so a lot of it is very IP based. Like I think the first example that we already talked about is Galaxy's Edge. And that's a perfect example of like you're walking through those like tunnel type sections between Frontierland or Fantasyland into Galaxy's Edge, and like you can even hear like the music and the ambiance changing to already like subconsciously make you feel like you're stepping into a new universe. And I think what makes Disney especially unique from at least what I've seen and experienced from Universal is that you're stepping into something like that and like it is all around you. You can't even see anything beyond whether that's Galaxy's Edge or like Toy Story Land in Florida or I mean just like all of them. I think there's another good example is in Epcot in Florida, you have the World Showcase around the back of the park, and there's a lot more distance between parks there than there are here because it's just like such a huge amount of land.
Right.
Yeah.
But when they were creating the Tower of Terror over there in Hollywood Studios, so completely different park than Epcot, they realized when building that the Tower of Terror was going to be seen in the eye line of the Morocco like skyline. Like you could see the tower from another park when you're in Epcot.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't have that. We can't have anything taking you out of that moment from like believing that you are in the streets of Morocco.
Yeah.
And so they completely designed the back of the Tower of Terror building exterior, which is huge, by the way, like stories and
Sure,
stories
yeah.
high. They designed the back of that ride differently than the front so that if you're in Hollywood Studios and you see the front and the back, it's still like the colors and the aesthetic and everything like still work together.
Yeah.
But when you see it from Morocco, it perfectly fits and blends into the Morocco skyline so that for a second you don't believe that there's a completely different park like a mile away or whatever it is. And so that level of intentionality is what drives all of the Disneylands and all of the Disney parks. And I think like I just want to like defend one of the counter arguments that like Disneyland specifically is so small that like you lose a tiny bit of that there. Like I think it's harder to convey those types of big moments in Disneyland specifically just because that was built first with like different intentions. But everything that they've created recently there, you'll notice has that same intentionality still. Like the most recent example, I guess, is Avengers Campus. And like with that one, you have all of your entry points into that land are either like very intentionally like welcoming you there, or my favorite is when you transition between Cars Land and Avengers Campus and going from Avengers Campus into Cars Land, you see signage going in that's very much like welcome to Radiator Springs and Route 66 and like you're here now. And then when you go back the opposite way, the opposite side of those signs are like transporting you into this old like Stark technology, like old Avengers side of things, and like you're transitioning into that Marvel universe again. So like even in smaller cases like that, they are doing like the absolute best you can with what's already there to make sure that like those lands are distinct. When you are in any one place of these parks, you are fully present there, from the visuals to the sounds to the music. Like it is all completely curated to that one experience. And then that obviously dictates like the rides there and the character experiences, and like how in Avengers Land you can see like the Avengers characters like battling each other up on top of the buildings, and the like Wakanda warriors are like doing their like shows and displays and stuff, and like all of those things just play into that, again, like storytelling, that like you are there and you are experiencing those things like straight from the movies or the books or whatever it is that like you grew up knowing and you're like already familiar with. Like you get to be there firsthand.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So, my argument of why Universal's more immersive is I'll give Disneyland the win here for immersive here in California because it's bigger than Universal. Universal's on a hill, so it's kind of hard to immerse yourself when you're on top of a hill and you have like different levels. So you're gonna be able to see over things and stuff. So yes, Disneyland might have the win here. But now if we're looking at Orlando, Japan, Shanghai, all those places where it's more spread out, now more even, now more immersed, and with her saying, you know, how the lands are more immersive in Disneyland abroad as well. I've watched countless of videos of Universal parks, taking tours of Universal parks in Japan, taking tours. My kind of argument would be, okay, you mentioned Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire Outpost. That was their rebuttal to Universal's Harry Potter Land. Harry Potter Land came first, and the immersiveness was fantastic. Everyone loved it. How everyone was dressed to the immersiveness of the books, how the vendors where it is, how everything's all detailed. I mean, J.K. Rowling was there, literally overseeing every single detail to make sure it was very immersive, make sure nothing stood out, make sure nothing was out there. So when you bring up Star Wars Land, that's their rebuttal of Harry Potter. So if you're thinking, oh, the way how Star Wars gets all immersed, it's because that's their answer. Universal already did that.
It wasn't an answer. Disney did things before Harry Potter Land too. But
yes,
okay.
but when Harry Potter Land came out, now Disney's like, all right, we got to think quick. Now we got to think quick of how Harry Potter.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, and if you look at Orlando, I don't know. I mean, you may not be well versed with the Harry Potter lore and the movies. So, but I'm pretty sure you know how when they get to Hogwarts to take the train, right? And then they go through the train station. They go through that platforms 93/4. They have that in Orlando. So literally, they have a section where it looks like it's just like a regular. It's really hard to miss. That's the beauty of how amazing the Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade is. Because to get to Diagon Alley, you can miss it because you have to look for it. Just like how like in the lore of Harry Potter, how magic is hidden from the Muggles. It's very hard. Us visitors are gonna miss. Because it looks like just like a regular building, like it looks like a facade of like a New York street or something like that, or London street. And you're there and you're like, oh, this is cool. And then you just see people going inside this little alleyway, and you're like, well, what's in here? And you go in, and then you see the bricks fall apart, open up, and then you're in Diagon Alley, and you see this whole land immersed into Diagon Alley. You have everything. You have Gringotts right there. As soon as you open Gringotts with the big dragon on top, and you have George and Fred's joke shop is right there, and you see all these all these stores, everything that you were like, whoa, where's this? Where's this at? Because it was hidden. Because it's driving into the lore of Harry Potter, how everything's hidden from the Muggles. We have to hide ourselves so that no one knows. And then they have literally the King's Cross station from the books, the actual station, the facade of it right there. But you can go in there, and then again, it's a little facade where you go, and it looks like you're going through the pillar. Like if you're standing here, and the line snakes around, there's like a mirage, a cool effect where you can see other people in the line, but you can see them disappearing into the pillar. It looks like they're disappearing into the pillar. And when you walk around, obviously it's just like a regular hallway. But when you're standing out, you see people going in. You're like, oh, that's so cool. And then you have to take the train to get to Hogsmeade or to the other park. There's two ways to get to both parks. There's one where you can walk it, or you can take the immersiveness of the Hogwarts Express and take the train to get to. And now you're in Hogsmeade. Just like how in the books, you're in Hogsmeade, and then you're immersed in that world now as well. And the way they did it with the train is that it's not like an open window and you see Orlando. Like, all right, no, it's like the train is the screen now, and it's all of London, and you're passing by London. And then as this train is going, now you see the scenery changing, and you see some characters passing by, some Harry Potter stuff. But they made sure that you're immersed in this train, not like, oh yeah, I can see the sky of Orlando. It's raining, whatever. Like they make sure you're immersed. Now go even further. Now let's go to Japan.
Wait, I just want to clarify a question there because I'm not familiar. So they're two separate parks, right? So do most people have like a park hopper option so that you can do both of those and take that train?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So with the train, so the thing with the train is, it's not like think of like imagine the monorail in Tomorrowland. Like in order to get to the monorail, you have to go through Tomorrowland, and then imagine. Same thing like that. You have to go inside the park to get to the train, and then you get to the outside of the train, and then you just show them your ticket.
Gotcha.
And that's it. So it's just like that as well. Japan. Now you have this big, expansive land spread out, and you have different lands. As soon as you walk in, it's like a New York facade. It looks like it's like New York, all New York. Shows, everything, theaters everywhere. They have right now I think it might be over. They have a Jujutsu Kaisen show that you can go watch, and it's really cool. And then they have Gojo popcorn stuff. That's really cool. It's a cool show. It's a really immersive show. But they also have a How to Train Your Dragon show with like an actual live toothless big animatronic comes down and starts flying around the theater. It's really cool. But it immerses you in that world of like New York, kind of like you're a show, like you're a star here. Remember, like, you know, we always say you're a star, so you're a star here. But then as you go to the lands, okay, now let's talk about Super Nintendo World. When you go in, you're going through the plumbing tube as Mario is, and you hear doo 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 as you're walking in. So you're walking in, and then you're in Princess Peach's castle, and you hear dun 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 dun, dun the music, everything here. Oh, and then the way Japan is, it's I'll give you this. The one here is garbage because you can see it's kind of small. I mean, it's cool to go to. I recommend.
You mean the Universal in Hollywood?
In Hollywood,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
Is. But the one in Japan is an actual land, and it immerses you into the whole world of Super Mario. And not even Mario. You have now they're building a new Donkey Kong area, which we won't talk about. But it's there to see. It's there to see if everyone see. You can leave because the way they did it, it's like another tube portal that you can walk through, and you'll get into Donkey Kong Land and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but that's how the immersiveness is. So you're walking through these plumbing tubes and stuff, and you can interact with so many things in that world. Granted, you got to buy the band, but the band over there is like 10 times cheaper than the ones over here. If you buy the band, the little Mario band, you can hit the little the buttons, hit for the coins, do some Bowser challenge versus Bowser Jr. in a little mini boss interactive fight. You can go in. It's all very immersive. Then you go into the other lands, to the Jurassic Park land. They have a legit land just dedicated for Jurassic Park, Jurassic World area.
I feel like you're just naming lands and IP now. I don't know that's part of the argument.
That's the immersive now. I'm telling you about the immersiveness of how this parks get you into
Okay, well, can I name some more options then?
You just said Star Wars. You said Star Wars enough already.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about like the experience of like getting sucked into it.
She talked a lot about here and about Orlando. Orlando each has the parks.
But beyond that, like what I'm trying to keep in mind is like sift through the details of like what you guys are throwing at me and trying to consider what about what you're telling me is truly immersive.
I think if I could like clarify, I think what makes a difference between like an immersive. I don't know. Let me backtrack. I think the difference is like you can make an immersive experience anywhere if you have like the land and the money to do so. But I think like you have to be able to like overcome challenges like the weird hillside in Hollywood to like make those things like actually immersive and believable to your guests, like no matter what the challenges are.
But I think you're thinking of immersive also as if like you're in a land and like you're in that land and like there's no distractions around you. Like you don't see. You know, the LA skyline right there.
Yeah. Well, like, sure. Okay. I mean, that's
a part of the immersiveness.
That is an argument in favor.
Right.
I'm saying that. But at the same time, too, there is like something else to be said about.
Right. Which also, like, like Jurassic Park, the lands abroad, immerse you into that you're actually in the Isla Nublar. Because why? You get to do the attractions of Meet the Raptors. They bring out raptors. They have life-size animatronics of Triceratops walking around that you can see, and they'll do educational things of like this Triceratops got to grow into this certain. It's as if you're in a park within a park, because you know how with the lore of Jurassic Park, you're inside. You're going to this island to meet these dinosaurs, and the rides themselves immerse you into this land of like this is the park here. Again, it's like when we mentioned in our earlier episodes. In our earlier episode when we went to Universal, it's like where it's a typical Jurassic Park storyline where dinosaurs break free and you gotta escape. Same thing, but you're at least in that world. You're immersed in that world as well with like all the other parks in the Asia parks rely heavily on two things. One, the anime world, because that's big over there. So you can immerse yourself into the world. The Attack on Titan lands, the Demon Slayer lands, the One Piece area. They literally have a One Piece show, which is like a stunt show. It's all One Piece where you have Luffy's fighting all the villains from all the arcs. It's in Japan. You won't understand it, but I mean. You're still seeing Luffy over there doing his, Gear 4, fighting all these people, and you see everybody. You see all the characters, everyone from the Straw Hat Pirates. But I digress.
I feel like you're just like listing cool IP and things now, but like I could come up with a long list if that's what we're doing.
That's how you get immersed into that world. How are they immersing you into this world? They're getting you involved. They're getting you involved into making you believe and stuff like that. Black Spire Outpost gets you involved, but you're just mostly walking around. You can do some interactive things. Universal's really heavy on like, let's get you involved into this. Let's interact with some shows. Touch this. Feel this. Get shot with water from this because of this. You're immersed and thinking like, okay, wow, I just experienced this crazy dinosaur ride where the Adonis Rex chases after you, which is a new ride they implemented, which is one of the best dark rides that's been voted right now. That immerses you into the world of Jurassic World. I'm not a big fan of Jurassic World, but that ride is amazing. That is taking Disney for a run for its money for most of its interactive rides. But the immersiveness, again, is how you're entering these worlds. They're like portal worlds entering. Again, with Disney, how you're saying with Avengers Campus, it transforms into, it slowly morphs into Cars Land, stuff like that. which is again that drives into the immersiveness. But I feel like when it comes to Universal, it's like, okay, we can't mesh everything together because it's gonna be weird. So let's make these portals. Let's make these gates that, like, say this is the land you're gonna immerse yourself into. When you're done, you can leave and let's see what else there is else to do out
I think
there.
that just
So-
feels a lot less natural to feel like you have to like step through a door to like experience
It's
different
curiosity.
things.
Everyone wants to see what's behind that door.
I guess, but it feels like a little bit more harsher because like Disney has a lot of those interactive moments too. Like I think there's a lot of small examples in a lot of Disney like literal lands where there's things like those like animal encounters or whatever that also make you feel like you're there. Like I feel like one of my favorite is like in Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. There's like all the like characters walking around the park, which is like that's a unique like personal
Yeah.
experience in itself, and they're like very interactive with people. But in Toy Story Land, like if somebody yells Andy's coming, like they all like drop to the ground like they would in the movie, and that's just like something fun to experience. And so there's a lot of just like little things like that where I mean, and you're like, oh, it's cool to meet these fake dinosaurs. You can go to Animal Kingdom and meet real animals and like go on literal safaris that have been very carefully curated in like their own personal like Florida savanna, and like experience things there that you never would be able to anywhere else. And then like we didn't even talk about like Pandora, the world of Avatar in Animal Kingdom yet, but like that's incredible too. Like it's bioluminescent, so you have a different experience there in the day versus the nighttime when all of the plants like come alive
Which
and
was
like
their
light
answer
up
to
and
Universal
everything.
Japan's area, but okay.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well,
If you notice, Disneyland is playing a lot of catch up with
I
Universal.
don't think so. I think there's
They
a lot
are.
of
All right.
things that
Look at
Disney
the
have been
history of
doing
it. Look at
first.
the history of it.
You want to talk about the history? Bob Gurr went from
Oh
Disney
my
over
God,
to
no,
Universal to give them
Bob.
one of their first good rides ever. He created the Back to the Future ride. He is a Disney Imagineer, so that was not like an
sure.
original Universal
But
concept.
we're talking about the past now. Now we're talking about back to
Yeah,
So-
you wanted to talk about the past.
Okay, we're talking about. I'm saying they're playing
right.
catch up all the time.
I've decided. I've decided. So a couple of things that I'm gonna say here.
Okay.
What I'm trying my best for like all the viewers. I'm sorry if like me as a judge, I'm not like the most.
Kick him out of here. We don't want it.
Like
we don't know.
I want to think. in.
All you Disney
I'm all about
haters,
like thinking
Universal
about
haters.
in fairness, and I'm a very like to the T kind of person. So if you tell me, okay, ask this question this way, all right, I'm gonna stick to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to the rubric. So the rubric was
Should've known
which is most immersive. So hang on, before you guys start like
We should ask
giving your
what is his what is his
Okay.
definition of immersion?
Okay,
Just
so-
fire us
Yeah,
on that.
So a couple of factors here. Immersion can be defined in a number of ways, right? And you both gave compelling ways in which both parks like express that.
Okay.
So
It's like not the answer I was looking for though.
but at the end of the day, it is also just my opinion.
Okay.
So, a couple of things that I heard. So, the intentionality behind some of the decisions that are made in order to create and protect an experience is part of immersion.
Okay.
The details and extravagance that brings a person from point A to point B is part of the immersion.
Right.
And all the other factors like the rides and characters and stuff like that, I feel like are all things that could add into it.
Right.
Yeah, that's like a whole other
It's
thing
a
in
whole
itself.
it's a whole other thing
Yeah.
and a whole other argument, maybe even a whole other question.
Which
but
was on there.
Right, but at the
Just
end of
better
the day, immersion is about taking me somewhere that is outside of everyday reality.
Right.
That is like bottom line, like what it's all about.
Yeah.
So for that reason, here's a winner of today's debate.
Rip the Band-Aid off, bro.
Vic, you got this one, man.
Are
You won
you
this one.
kidding me?
I will say why. I'll say why.
I got him with the Harry Potter thing.
You
I'll
better
say
break
why.
it down.
I'll say why. You really appealed to me to the whole intentionality and I think one aspect to Disney that I absolutely love is the fact that every single area of the park is extremely detailed. is so detailed to sometimes like when my wife and I, because we've gone to Disney more than we've gone to Universal for a variety of reasons, mainly kids, very young kids being the reason, but and where we live. But the thing that we love about the different parts of the park are the extremely like fine details of each area of the park. But the thing that sold me about Universal that made me feel like, okay, I have to give it to Universal is because if I'm going with my family, if I'm going with my kids, which is most likely what I'm going to do, then heck, I want to get the heck away from like whatever reality that I paid money to get away from. Because theme parks are like an escapist act.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, just the simple process of going from point A to point B, where you're talking about the train and you're talking about the bricks and you're talking about like tunnels and you're talking about like these little things, like I think I would be excited to see that, and I think you piqued my curiosity about that. I don't care about Jurassic Park. I don't really care about. I'm sorry, but like if I don't really care about Jurassic Park in that way, I don't really care for like Nintendo World. Like it doesn't appeal to me in that way. However, like just to be able to experience like walking through that tunnel and hearing that music and seeing that like that transition that alone is something that I don't even care for Harry Potter. I haven't seen all the movies. I haven't read any of the books, but I'll pay money to see like how that transition happens. And I think there is also like kind of an unfair advantage in that I have been more to Disney and I have been able to see that transition. And it is more gradual, it is more subtle, and less abrupt than what Vic is describing at Universal. And some people that appeals to them, some people it doesn't. To me, it doesn't appeal that much. Because
No, it's fair.
No, it's not. Because this is coming down to like at the end of the day, theme parks in general like are a subjective thing. And so like if I prefer things that feel more subtle and more like unified versus someone who feels like I want to step through a door and experience something new, then like that's just a different.
Let's go to Japan.
It's just a different.
Let's go to Universal Japan. Don't worry.
It's just
I mean, I would love to experience all of the parks in Japan.
It sounds like it's pretty affordable. Are you kidding me? Like that's super affordable.
I mean, we got to pay for that fare, but
yeah.
You're already here, guys. We're going to do a podcast in Japan.
At the end of the day, guys, here's what's going to happen. I live in LA. I'm going to go to Disney more often.
Yes.
Right.
Like bottom line, I'm going to go to Disney more often. And if I'm in the States, I'm probably going to go to Disney more often.
Yes. I think that makes me feel like a winner in itself because, like we said at the beginning, and I will, but I do feel like there's obviously an accessibility to it, and like I'm fine to admit that like there's probably a lot of stuff in the Universal International parks that like are just like technologically very advanced and like they have a lot more flexibility there in some ways and stuff. And I think, I mean, like I for sure want to go to like Disneyland Shanghai at some point too, because I think that's Disney's like best equivalent of that. But I think there is a lot to say that like as far as the states go, like that is people's preference.
At the same time too, like I think different stages of life you're going to go to theme parks for different reasons.
For sure.
I'm married. I have 2 kids under 3. Right now, I don't go to theme parks for the rides anymore as much as I would have loved to. Are you kidding me? I would get on all the rides, but I can't because my wife hates rides and my little kids can't ride them.
Watch the kids. I'm going to go ride rides.
I would, but man, dad guilt is real too. So I go for food. Company. I go for food.
The food is,
And
you gave me the food point,
sorry.
so really I feel like the winner.
Wow, just because you lost twice. Eat your wings, Sierra.
Listen, the first one feels like a cop-out because you only won because it's literally cheaper.
It's better. That's your wallet friendly. What's wallet?
You're paying
more
for
friendly?
less of an experience.
Universal. Nah. Your experience. My experience going to Universal, Disneyland would be like, man, I spent $3,000 for this. This is ridiculous.
You're peeking, Sierra.
What? No, I picked this one.
Wow. She cheated.
I don't know. It looked more orange.
Okay, yeah.
I don't mind spice.
Look more
but I don't-
orange, you suck.
See, you chose.
Okay, fine. I'll try it. Out of good
Take a bite
sportsmanship.
of. Okay, and then I will give you the other one. You can eat the
Okay,
other one
okay.
as well.
Watch that
I'll
one
give it a
be.
shot.
watch
So
that
then,
one be
okay, so
less
then with
hot.
what you said with your leaning more towards. So it's safe to assume that you're leaning towards more Disney parks overall, or would you, as a final closing arguments of this whole debate?
As a final closing argument with the questions that were asked,
Yes.
I'm giving it to Universal.
Okay.
Universal's a winner.
Okay, so if
Universal
within the context of the
Based
within the
on
context on
your
this
argument.
debate,
Universal wins-
Universal
wins.
wins this. However, experientially within my context,
Yeah.
like if
Disney.
we're like where I live, in my budget, in my lifestyle, Disney wins.
What
And
do you
that's
mean
not
your budget, bro.
like I
In your
can't.
in your budget, Disney should not win. It should be Universal.
It's more worth the
Well,
money
it's
you're
more
putting
worth my
forward.
it's
Yeah.
worth my money.
You could go to
I
Universal
can-
for like
if I-
$70.
But I can.
But it's not fun.
But if
It's
I
fun,
go,
what are you talking about?
but if
I
I
retract
go,
the entire other podcast episode.
No,
I did.
she
It was
does.
an
She enjoyed it.
awful
if I
time.
go,
enjoyed it.
if I go to Disney and take my whole family to go, excuse me, then I can spend all day there. I've been to Universal Hollywood and where there was no one there, and I've spent half the day there.
That's all you need.
But-
And go home, do some other things you want to do, play some video games.
But
hang out
if
with
I,
you're
friends.
but if
paying
I'm
that much
paying,
money,
if I'm
you
paying
want to
money
be
to go, if
entertained.
I'm
you're not
Yeah,
paying.
if
that much.
I-
That's what I'm saying. That's why you don't pay enough for
If
Universal,
I'm
because you
paying-
can. Universal, you're paying for. All right, here's how much we're charging for a ticket, so you can go for half a day. Boom, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Disneyland's like you're paying all this money, and maybe you can do something there, depending on the crowds.
Doesn't even make sense.
Depending on the
From
crowds.
what I remember, what I paid for Universal and from what I paid for Disney, it was not that different. Like I can't.
Listen, I can't argue with the whole Universal Studios Hollywood versus Disneyland because it's kind of hard to, unless Universal Studios you buy out that golf course, then that's a whole different story.
And they
That's
expand, you mean?
yeah, expand that whole golf course you see all over. If
Yeah,
they buy
yeah.
all of that, then now we're talking bigger than Disneyland, more things to do
Well,
there.
Disneyland's actually expanding in the next 10
They're-
years too, though.
Yeah.
So.
So there's that. So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
and that's just hard to do around here. They're
that's-
both
yeah, it is
very
hard.
Yeah.
constrained, and I do think that's like
that's
a
why
separate
again, that's why
argument in
with the
itself.
concept of this debate, I was like, let's just do the whole thing in general, because then I the only thing I'd have to argue with be like, oh, check out the Mario ride, it's cool, the cart ride, which is really fun. That's a fun
Yeah.
one. But that'd be my only argument.
There's not
you
a
know?
lot of
I can't
highlights.
justify Jurassic World because I mean they took away Jurassic Park, and that was.
I
my
mean,
favorite
and I
ride.
think that puts an interesting like perspective into it too, because at the end of the day, like there are obviously some Universal parks better than others and some Disney parks better than others, but like they're putting both brands, both companies are putting their name on all of those parks, and so theoretically, whatever they're putting their name on needs to be up to a certain level of
Certain
standard.
standard, yeah.
And I think at least Disney is more consistent with that across all of the parks.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to judge Universal when like I've only been to Universal Hollywood and like it was super fun, but like we didn't need a ton of time there, and like
Yeah.
there were a lot of things that didn't feel super immersive. So like,
But I'm wondering
does
why
that
why
make
did we
me-
take all day though?
I don't
That's
know.
the problem. Like,
Yeah,
how
you
did we
thought
end
we
up
were gonna
taking-
be out of there in half a
Yeah,
day, and then
how-
we did stay around most of the day.
but why? Like,
I think we spent a lot of time in Super Mario World because like neither of us had been there. It was
That's
just
true,
like
we're
very
observing it, yeah.
different. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
because
Why the line
now that
was
you think about it, I'm
long.
like, the line was long. But I was like, how did we end up leaving like at closing time? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I was like, if it's only a half a day, we still end up. We were there opening.
most of the
yeah,
day.
we did most of the day, but
Um,
yeah. But I mean, Alberto chose, guys. He went with Universal.
I still feel like a winner. So
I mean,
it's fine.
yeah, you can have your food one.
You're a
It's
winner,
fine.
Sierra.
Thank
You're a
It's fine.
winner.
You can have your food one there. Thank you guys for joining us here for the second debate here for the podcast. It was fun. I thought they'd be spicier, but they're not that spicy. I mean,
They were.
I mean, the one suffered
You
the
got
one that suffered was
the
Alberto.
worst
He's the one who
almost
suffered the
died.
most. So I guess we both win on that one.
Yeah, I mean, all of them were pretty good. I don't even
Really?
love like this one tasted the most like a hot sauce buffalo sauce kind of thing, and that I think that was definitely the spicier option, but
Gotcha.
it wasn't bad. But I also like I like
after
spicy.
peeking, yeah, after peeking,
Yeah, yeah.
cheating.
Oh my gosh, I didn't cheat. I was just curious.
Interesting. Okay, well, looks like we got to take a trip to Japan, guys.
Let's do it.
Universal Japan.
I'm down.
And then we'll go to Japan, and then we'll go to Tokyo, and then we'll do a podcast debate right there.
Okay,
Oh, which one's better?
I'm down.
In
Is the podcast funding this? Who do we need a sponsor?
Hey guys, if you want to sponsor us for this extravaganza, there's a lot of actually like theme park companies that do
Yeah.
that, which is I follow a couple. of
100%. I would definitely do it.
If
I'm a
it's sponsored.
huge.
We'll
anime fan.
sponsor you a company. I think like Theme Park Frog or these other ones.
Oh, you're calling them out now.
I'm calling them out because
Shoot.
come on, I love theme parks. I love everything. I'm not like I was debating for Universal, but I still love Disney. I love going to those parks as well. It's fun.
They're not going to send you to a Disney park now. You lost your chance.
All right, fine. Send me
You
to
send-
Universal. They send you Universal.
Look, you send me and my family. You send me and my family to a theme park. I will
Anywhere.
preach the message
Yeah.
of
I
that
will go
theme
there.
park
I would change
every
my stance on
day.
this debate right away. Like, I'll be all for it. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you guys had anything to want to add on the comments rebuttal of why Disney should have won or why Universal
Yeah,
is
come
a
to my
clear winner,
defense.
or come to mine aid of this fighting struggle. I think this settled the whole war between Disney versus Universal. So
I
no,
don't feel
no
like
more
it's
videos,
settled.
guys. No more, no more
Case
debates.
closed.
Case closed. This
The
is
case
it.
is not
All you have to
closed.
watch is this video, and that's it. And then go on with their lives and be happy. And we need to get to parades and stuff like that. They had a Pokemon parade in Japan. That was pretty dope.
Okay.
Anyway, I digress. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to see more debates, give us some more topics. We can start debating, and we can get some more spicier wings along this way, because I do love me some wings. So don't forget to send us any messages and questions you like. You can send us on our email, gamesymaspod@gmail.com. gamesymaspod@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you again, y nos vemos para la próxima.